What's up, YouTube? We are back with another video. Well, I am doing this live because Storm Monroe, shout out to Storm Monroe, he got the exclusive with Jaguar Wright, and he did an explosive 3-hour interview with Jaguar Wright, and they cover a multitude of subjects during that interview. And I want to give my thoughts on that interview, right? I want to give my thoughts on it because it was a lot that was said in there. And first and foremost, let me first start saying shout out to everybody that's going to see this video and those that are going to catch the replay. Now, when Jaguar Wright was on the show, it was a lot of stuff that she was getting into at first. Storm started off on not on the best note, I would say, because people wanted to get to the interview, and Jaguar Wright started to talk and started to guide the interview instead of a question. She pretty much was just going over and giving out, answering, not really answering a question, but just going on a conversation or a story or a rant. So everybody was like, get to the questions, ask her some questions and everything. And, Jaguar Wright was just answering, just going on like a story, like just really, really into it deep. So in this interview, everybody wanted to know a lot of big key points. Number one, they wanted to know about Common, allegations that she said about him. And number two, they wanted to know about, Erykah Badu, Mary J. Blige, and other things. Now, when it got to the big piece with the Common piece, she went on this long story of coming from Philly to New York. It was so extensive with the story that everybody was in the chat saying she crazy, but they're not hearing her. And this is why when I watch interviews, I love to just sit, take my notes, and other me chatting in the comments. I like to listen to what she said, even though when she is talking, she's going to give you a long story, because what she's going to do, she's going to give out all her thoughts. But as an interviewer, you have to make sure that she stay on course, because if she get off course, you got to make sure stay on course. And with the Common piece, she was bringing it up, and then finally she said, I was in my house, I was in his apartment, we were watching a movie, and I fell asleep. And then she was like, oh, with the sun, see, the reason why I fall asleep and I have on my certain type of shades, because if I don't have on some type of shades, I don't want to get left, because the Roots tour, if you're on tour with Roots, they will leave you. And she was just going on this rant, and as a interviewer, you literally have to get her back on course about what happened in that apartment with Common. And she started to tell a story. I wish it was a little bit more questions about that incident. But what she said was, when she did wake up, she felt something poking at her face. And what was poking at her face was a meat, a peen. Common peen was poking, according to Jaguar, face. She said something was poking at her face. Now, immediately, I'm like, I wish she had just poked that in my face. I don't see no shame with it, but she didn't want it that advance of, Common. So she didn't want him to poke her in the face. So he was poking her in the face with the peen, trying to have that peen go inside her mouth, and she did not want that. So what she did was she left, and then she took a bus, or, she left and she went back, to Philly. Now, just hearing her, hearing her talk, and let me first and foremost is I do believe Common should come out and give a response or to see his side of the story or what really happened. No lawsuit had came out. We reached out to Common. He have not reached back out to us. No legal stuff. Nothing came out. Nothing from Common Camp have even came out regarding those allegations that Jaguar Wright have been giving. But also, Jaguar Wright also got on her Instagram and she got on her IG and hold on, let me see if I can bring her Instagram up. And she apologized to Tiffany Haddish. So let's bring up that video for y'all can see that. Give me a second while I bring that up. And I'm going to stream that because she apologized actually to Tiffany Haddish. So let me screen share that. Here we go. Share. Okay, and the caption was my most humble and sincere apologies go out to the incompatible Tiffany Haddish. I began to look through your page, and I just wanted to say I'm sorry if anything I've done caused you distress. And you look fabulous in that suit, rocking it, keep on being amazing. Be well. God bless you. # she ready. So let's play the video.
There's one person that I have not addressed directly, and mostly because truth is I have a lot of respect for her. I think she is a wonderful comedian. I think she's a great philanthropist. I just got off of her page, and I just scrolled through like a month or two, and I was just curious to see, whether or not everything that's going on in hip hop and neo soul right now is affecting her in any way, because I know she in a relationship with, unfortunately, someone who became a target of my investigations. And I just wanted to say to Tiffany Haddish, I got all the respect in the world for you. We do have a mutual person in common, Lunell Campbell. Lunell has always spoke highly of you, and there's not much that Lunell can say to me that I don't take as Bible. So I just wanted to apologize, for real, if anything that I've done has caused you any distress. There's one person that I have
So she apologized to Tiffany Haddish because Tiffany Haddish is dating, Common. And anytime that you are, and she said during Storm interview, because he brought it up about this video, she said the reason why she apologized to Tiffany Haddish is because she felt bad that she is in a relationship with Common and that she had to deal with this allegation that her man, did something to another woman without her permission, and that, if Tiffany Haddish goes to the store, her family and all of these people are going to be in her face, asking her questions and doing that. And so she said, I had to apologize to her. And I am happy that Jaguar Wright apologized to Tiffany Haddish because, you should apologize, that you said it so public, or you should have called Tiffany Haddish. So I'm kind of glad. I'm really glad that she apologized. Now with that being said, Storm asked Jaguar Wright, do you think that Common is going to marry Tiffany Haddish? And she was like, I don't think she should marry. Well, she said, I'm gonna turn it around. I don't think that Tiffany Haddish should marry Common. And then she was going in, started to proceed to drag Common, said that Common he is aggressive, he's clingy, and she was just, putting all of that on him, all of these, she went on a rant on Common, and she just went in and in. And when one thing that I noticed about Jaguar Wright, and I noticed during this interview, when you mention a certain name, it triggers her. It triggers her to drag the person, whoever it is. So it got to one of my favorite pieces of this interview was when they were talking about Cat Williams and how she used to work with Cat Williams and the beauty of their relationship. Everybody in the chat was dragging, talking about this off topic. We ain't here for this Cat Williams stuff. But I like that piece about the Cat Williams, about how he was so helpful towards her, how he was telling her to have put scripted comedy in her music, and was just really was a big help to, Jaguar Wright. And she was really going back on that spirit of Jaguar Wright. Jaguar was going in the spirit of working with, Cat Williams. And so she was going to tear up. And I thought it was a beautiful moment for her to tell that story and to go in on that, because Jaguar Wright, she's not an unknown celebrity. She is unknown to a lot of people that don't know that don't know hip hop, or is it before your time. If you did not listen to any Jaguar Wright music, or if you did not listen to that era, unfortunately, that is not the era that I grew up in. My mom, I didn't hear it. I was like a gospel, head. I was not really into that hip hop culture. So a lot of names that she's naming, the average interviewer will not know unless you are really a hip hop PhD, really working in depth, because she was like name dropping a lot of folks, and it was like throwing you off, because even she was name dropping Lena when it came to Cat Williams, and she said, Lena, you this, and Lena this, that Lena tried to get a gun, it was going to make a hit on somebody if my name come up, and she was proceeding to drag Lena, and everybody was like, who the heck is Lena? And then when she kept talking, well, Lena is a groupie, and then Jaguar Wright said, you catfish your life into Cat Williams' life, and it was like she really was going in on Lena. And so when she was just dragging Lena. Now, a lot of people don't know who Jaguar Wright is until she got in the news and started dragging these celebrities. So now she did the interview with Storm, and she talked about Lena and dragged this woman. Then she proceeded to name another woman that Common used to go with and break that down, and just, drag this woman that worked for MCA Records. She was name dropping her. Mind you, the average listener are not going to know those names that you're mentioning. So I just wish that Storm would have asked her more questions and did not go down that rabbit hole that she was taking them down that. Reel her back to the subject, to the meat and the potatoes. The meat of the potatoes is Summer Walker. The meat of the potatoes was Common, and the meat of the potatoes. And then it gets to Erykah Badu. And then she was like, I don't like Erykah Badu. Erykah Badu need to get, who was that? Who she said draws. She said somebody draws. She buried somebody draws. Erykah Badu got Andre 3000 draws buried in her backyard. And I'm like, what? She said she need to take them Andre 3000 draws, because he said Erykah Badu. It literally triggered her. When he said Erykah Badu, she dragged Erykah Badu. She said she needs to stop walking around Dallas homeless looking, and then she need to get those Andre 3000 draws out of her backyard, because she said she buried his draws in the backyard. And I'm like, whoa, what in the world? So it was key names that Storm Monroe were asking her, and she were getting triggered to drag. So that was another person that she dragged. Then it went to P. Diddy. Then it got to P. Diddy, and she dragged it. She didn't, first of all, she said, I don't want to talk about Diddy. Then she proceeded to talk about it. Then she dragged Diddy bad business practices when it come to Bad Boy Records. She said Diddy, he abused a lot of artists, did not do right by them. He was abusive with business practice. He wasn't a great, record label executive. Then she said he's pretending to be this nice person, but he's really not that nice. And then she said he treated his artists bad, but he treated the women that he was with worse. And then he said, well, what about, the Casey getaway? She was like, I would ask Kim Porter, but Kim Porter is dead. She said, I would ask Kim Porter, but Kim Porter is dead. So she name dropped that, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, what are you saying? Why are you dragging Diddy? It was like she really was going in on Diddy. She went all the way back to 1997 and 1998 with Bad Boys when they had a tour. So unfortunately, with that Storm Monroe interview, I would suggest it would have been better with a more seasoned host, because I'm not even that seasoned interview, because half the stuff I don't know. I don't know it. So and that's why when Storm, he was entertaining what she was saying, you really can't entertain it because you didn't live that long. You don't know the culture that much. So I'm like, you can't even really entertain it. You could ask the question, but don't entertain what she's saying and kind of agreeing with it. Just ask her the question and let her tell her answer and everything else. But don't kind of entertain it of this and that. Half the names she was naming pretty much is not even that, it's not verified of what she's saying. So what she is saying, that everything that she says have to be vetted. And as a host, unless you really know it, I really want to say, oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That's this and that. All of it is allegedly. All of it. Now Jaguar have a right to give her story. And so when it even came to Mary J. Blige, then she proceeded, oh my gosh, she drags her so bad, she said that Mary J. Blige is on crack. She said that Mary J. Blige is still paying her pimp, her ex-husband. She said her ex-husband is her pimp, and she's still paying that. We all know that. Then she said she was on crack. Then she was talking about how she was just a hoe in the industry. So she literally was just dragging these people. And what I think it is, I don't personally believe that she is lying about these stories. I believe that she is telling the truth. But the problem with a lot of people have, it is her delivery. It is her delivery. It's about how she's delivering the message. I believe a lot what she said, it have a lot of truth in it, because none of these people have, sued her or addressed her. And I don't think they don't want to address her, because she knows what a lot of things about those celebrities. She can go all the way back with a lot of those people that they name. So I do believe some parts, what she's saying is true. I do believe the common piece. I do believe that because she cleared it up. Even let me go back to Common for a quick second. Let me just go back to, because I forgot something. It was in my notes. Everybody kept saying that she said that Common R'd her. Y'all know the R word, okay? And, she was like, no, he did not R me. He did not do that. I never said he R'd me. What I said was he tried to stick his peen inside my mouth. So she really cleared that up, and that was like the big piece, right? Then I told you about the P. Diddy. I told you about Mary J. Blige. I told you about those three components. Now let me bring it to she really was in the interview just going and giving you information about the industry. I love the fact how she said that it is nothing, the industry is so toxic, is that no one is willing to challenge the industry like they should. A lot of people are going to view this industry is a very toxic industry. It is. The music industry is very toxic. It's very evil. And if you're not careful, it will literally take the life out of you. And many people did not make it in the music industry. So I do believe some of the stuff that she's saying about the music industry. But the thing that messes up her message is that she is so with the dragging these people and calling them drug addicts and crackheads and H words and B words and the violence that she would, because she was on there threatening some people too. And I'm like, whoa. Then she said, I don't know if she said Mary J. Blige looked like a monkey, but she said that. And she was saying a whole lot of stuff on there, right? It was literally a roller coaster, and people was eating it up as much as she was on the platform dragging these artists, she was dragging them over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And the audience loved it. And I loved it too, because I was laughing, even though some of the people, I didn't know who she was talking about. But it was just her delivery with the cuss words and drag. I did love that. I'm like, oh, yes. Tell me more. And the audience really was craving for more. And he had 3,000 people in the chat. Now, A lot of people, I was reading some comments that when, because Sasha K shared, Storm on her interview on, on her page. And some people was on there saying some stuff. Let me see. I'm going to read one comment that they said under her post. Give me a second. I'm going to read it because it was on there. Give me a second. Yes. Where's that? Where that comment at? If it's still under there. Give me a second. That comment was, girl, stop. This is what somebody commented on the Tasha K post because she shared the interview that Storm Moore did with Jaguar Wright. She said, this person responded, girl, stop trying to make Storm happen. He ain't ever going to happen. And then somebody said, I agree. Then somebody else responded to that comment. His personality is overly fake and annoying and not entertaining at all. And I was just reading that comment and I'm like, what do you mean not going to happen? Because he's already happening. So when people make these comments and when they do these comments and they put these comments and they do it, it's so funny to me that you can't take none of it personal because it's not based in like facts. So when that comment said that, I really want to comment on that, but I didn't want to do it because I know they'd be all thirsty. Is that I'm like, the brother got 85K subscribers and 3,000 people were watching this live for he literally held 3,000 folks for 3+ hours. That takes pure talent. So he is happening, whether you want to believe it or not. Okay. So I want to say this. I hope that Jaguar Wright write a book because listening to her do interviews, she's all over the place when she does interviews. I want to read the Jaguar Wright story in a book so I don't get distracted with her going all over the place. Because if she write it in a book and someone is helping her put all her thoughts on paper, it will be more effective than her doing an interview and just bringing up 3,000 folks because it'll get lost. The messaging will get lost and you would have to like chop up some parts to do it. Now, what I suggest what Storm does with this 3-hour interview is to chop up segments of Jaguar Wright's interview because a lot of people, it's going to be hard for them to get through 3 hours of it. It's the meat and the potato, the part with about Common that need to be its own individual segment, and the comment that she made about Erykah Badu, individual segment that needed a video, and then the one that she said about Mary J. Blige, a video. You need to make that into a segment, and then what she said about P. Diddy, a segment. Then also she gets to Lil' Kim. Now she talked about Lil' Kim. She said Lil' Kim is awesome, but she said I heard. Listen again. She said that she still have some of Biggie clothes in her closet. Still have some of Biggie clothes. And I'm like, I could believe that because she loved Biggie. And then Storm said something. I believe that Lil' Kim regret ever not, not having, Biggie's baby. And I was like, okay, Storm, you are so on the money because I think Storm actually, he knows about that era. He knows about Kim. That's more up to date. And she was really giving her comments on it. Then Storm proceeded to drag Lil' Kim and how Lil' Kim looked. And then Jaguar Wright husband was just laughing. And I was laughing because he proceeded to drag Lil' Kim. He proceeded to drag her. And of course, I laughed as well. Get caught up, she tell the truth, and I'm sure he was going to chop the videos up. He's smart. Yes, and because it's just to help the viewer. I sat through their entire interview. I was listening. I was doing stuff for my show. So I was listening to the interview, and I was thoroughly entertained, and it was a very informative interview. I did love the fact that she is a conscious woman because she was mentioning the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and she said, she said, don't, if you have a glass of water and there's ink in it, the Elijah Muhammad said, just get a new glass, get a clean glass and sit it next to it. So I love the fact that how she was bringing that up, and she brought up Minister Farrakhan and how beautiful that was of this woman, that she's aware of what she is talking about. So she's very aware of of the industry. She knows the ins and out of the industry. But I think a little bit of bitterness comes in. And let me tell you why I say a little bit bitterness comes in. Because she said something about Mary J. Blige, and she wanted to get a record deal. And the record executive, not Mary J., but a record executive told Jaguar Wright, we cannot sign you because you're like you're reminding us of Mary J. Blige. So we sign her. And as long as Mary J. Blige is popular, you will never get signed to a major recording contract. So I think partially her anger and frustration with Mary J. Blige is because she did not get signed by a major label. So a little piece of her bitterness and frustration with Mary J. is when she did not get signed with a major label, when she heard that. And I think that's partially her frustration with Mary, right? And then she was going in on Mary. She, proceeded to go in. So I do believe that Jaguar Wright needs to heal. I do believe that will help her with her healing process if she will put a book out. Music, but a book and a documentary. I would love to see a documentary, and she says she's working on the documentary, and she did say that. So he asks, Storm asks another great question. He asks her, "What are your thoughts about R. Kelly?" And then she made a statement. She said, "I don't want to talk about him, blah, blah, blah." And then she said, it is, what was the percentage? I had that note. Give me a second. I had that on my other phone. Give me a second. Had a note, because I had notes all over. I got it on index card and notes in my phone. Did I put it in here? Oh, did I put it on this phone? I think I put it on this phone. Hold on. Wait a minute. What are the notes? Yes. So she said it is a certain percentage of, did I put that on there? I thought I did, but she was talking about it's a couple of artists out there that are doing what R. Kelly have been accused of doing. I think she said it was about 12 or 13 artists, if not more, of A-list artists in the industry that have been doing what R. Kelly have been accused of doing, abusing and everything else, being a predator. So he's a certain percentage, and she said she will put it in a documentary of the artists that have been doing what R. Kelly have been doing. So I was like, I'm interested in that. And if she was over here, I would ask her a little bit more questions. I would just drove as much question to see if I can get something out of that, because I'm interested. Because what I've always said, even with the R. Kelly piece, that he's not the only one, even himself. It is others that helped him in that piece. I've always said that, and I believe it. I don't believe he got to do that enterprise and all that by himself. It was others there. It was other powerful people in that room. All the artists that you recorded and produced it, and they ain't seen none of that activity. So it's more to that piece of story that I would like to know. And so when Jaguar said that, I'm like, I would like to know what she got about that, because I was curious. So that's why I took some notes. And wow. So I'm looking in here, and he did ask her about, Cat Williams. Okay, the Jay-Z piece. She said working with Jay-Z was okay, but working with Cat Williams is better. So I did tell y'all about that. So I really am interested in hearing more of Jaguar Wright, because I want to see her in a podcast, but I want her to write down subjects so she don't go all over the place. I don't just want her to have a podcast. She's just off the top of her head. I want her to talk about, your podcast episode 1, my relationship, the reason why I don't like Mary J. Boom. my thoughts, the episode 2, my thoughts on Diddy. Boom. Like, do a whole series in a podcast form about the industry, but make sure it's just on one subject, because that one subject she could just talk to and just stick on that instead of just going all over the place. That was a great interview. I really like Jag. I hope I run across her while in Dallas. I would love to like meet her, because she's very interesting. She's a very interesting woman, full of wisdom, full of a lot of great stories that if you're trying to get in the industry, you should hear what she's saying, so you can be out. So when you enter the industry, you'll know who to look out for and how to have your guards up. But she's deserving to be heard. Absolutely. And she need her blue check verification. She's all in the news. She should have her blue check. This is my humble opinion. And I said that Storm Monroe did an incredible interview, to be honest with you. I had a little bit of problems in it, but overall, I was thoroughly entertained, because what saved the interview was Jaguar Wright dragging. And baby, you have to go to the interview and hit towards when you got to rewind maybe the middle part, but get to that part when he was name driving Mary. Get to the part with Diddy. Get to the part with Cat Williams and Linda. Get to that part, because that's when it got juicy, because she got just get the dragon. And then she called B, and she's very unfiltered. Now, mind you, during the interview, she said this is date night, because she's a married woman. And they were supposed to go watch my guys, what was the movie they was going to watch? Brown Sugar. So, but she got to talking, and when she talked, baby, her husband went to sleep. At first, he was laughing, but I guess he used to say, let my wife do what she do. And then she said, I got to go wake him up and get it in. So I just was. It was a good interview. It was some great moments in there, and that'll let you know that I was really into that interview and everything, because even the husband was like laughing at his wife. And I'm like, Jaguar Wright, she definitely been hanging around with Cat Williams, because I said, where is she getting these chops? Because she get these chops in, but she said something that stuck with me. She said that I was friends, been around Cat Williams, so her role, she was around a comedy legend. Cat Williams is legendary. So her roast is so funny because she hang around a lot of celebrities like Lunel. I think this Storm say he want Lunel to go down on him. This Storm say that. This Storm say he want Lunel to go down on her, want her lips. I'm like, come on, Storm. I said Storm say he want Lunel to go over there. So, and she know a lot of comedians. And then she said, if I would love to be in a relationship. Did Jaguar say I would love to be in a relationship with Lunel? So I'm like, really, and then she gave, Jaguar Wright an awesome suggestion to Storm. Is to do sketch comedy. But Storm had an amazing segment on the show when I fell in love with Storm. Let me tell you how I go back with people. See, I don't just... one segment is two segments that I love watching Storm Monroe, and I don't want to miss it. His story times, and when he used to put on that white jacket and do them prescriptions. Those were the two segments I feel actually really one with the prescriptions really made Storm different. I never seen some of like that when he would Dr. Storm, he would give the prescription. And that's when I fell in love with this man, because he does have that. And he's like, whoa, he in it. And I give him kudos points for that. He wants to know what that mouth do. That's what he said. That's what he said, y'all. And I said that what? And that was his two segments, the story time and the prescription. I was really involved in that. I agree. No, Storm don't take control. The interview at all Jack was cool, but he definitely needed to do better with questions. Yes, you have to. And what I have to understand is when you're interviewing a guest, you literally do as much research but always go in that interview with about 5 juicy points. Understand what is the major things that your audience want to hear, that people want to hear. Them are the questions that you try to focus on. Because when Tasha K came on the show today, I already knew, because I know her and I done my research, what the world, what the public have been asking over and over. So when I ask the questions, boom, boom, and then I have to reel her back, ask her more questions, but don't allow her go on a rant. But ask her the question and don't keep, yeah, girl, you right about that. You saw right about love. No. Ask her the questions. This is an interview, not a conversation. So ask your question, boom, 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 before it can flow back so it can make sense to the audience. And it just it's like it's a groove. And you get it by interviewing more people. And people would say, you know, Wiley, how are you able to do these great interviews? Because I interviewed a lot of people. Even if it only got 3 folks listening, it doesn't matter about how people listen. It's about your experience of actually sitting down, talking to people. So I've done it for a long time. So that's why it's so easy, because I used to interview people when I was 19, 20 years old in house parties with a little phone. Hey, da, da, da. So that's why it comes off and everything like that. At least Jag have something positive to say about Eve. Yes. That was a good show today at Wiley Show. It was. No storm. And it was pieces to answer your point to the viewer. Yes. Storm Jaguar Wright dominated the interview because Storm he's not a seasoned interviewer. There's no shade to Storm. I'm not a seasoned interviewer, right? I'm still learning. He's not a seasoned interview for the subject matter. Let me say that, for the subject matter. You have to be a seasoned type interview to handle a Jaguar Wright interview. Wendy Williams will give a good Jaguar Wright interview because she know the stuff that she talking about. And then she brought up Wendy Williams. She said, I had one of the Jaguar Wright said I had one of the highest rated interviews with Wendy Williams. And she said that Wendy Williams vet the information that comes out on her show, and that Wendy Williams is not a liar, that she will vet everything that I was saying. She said Wendy Williams vetted it. And you never heard that Wendy Williams you never heard that Wendy Williams is a liar. You never heard that she was a liar. It was that everything she said it was true. It was like a lot of it true. And if she did, you know, it didn't really dominate about her personality or her brand. So that was a great piece. And then she was talking about how Diddy tried to, ran, Wendy out of New York, and that look at Wendy Williams now, she just dominating the market. So a lot of stuff that Jaguar Wright says, she know what she's talking about. She's a historian. She's the OG. And a lot of the new bloggers that came on the scene now, we got to be a little messy. This can't be a Wiley Show without being a little messy, okay? Now, we're going to be a little bit of messy up in here. It can't be a Wiley Show if it ain't no little mess, okay? It cannot be a Wiley Show, ain't no mess a part of it. Now, this is where the mess come in. Now, everybody know 2 bloggers covered Jaguar Wright. But I want to focus on one blogger. I want to focus on Daytime Tea Time. She covered Jaguar Wright, and she said a title. Give me a second. I want to dive into her live. Give me a second. What was that? Let me find the title of that video, because I do want to get the title of that video that she said. Hold up. Give me a second. I want to read the title. The video that she put out, so you all can go see those. I'm not lying. That you can go and see it for yourself. If she still got that up. I don't know if she still got it up. Does she still got it up? Yes, she does. Okay, 3 weeks ago, Daytime Tea Time did a video, and that video on August 29th, the name of that video is Summer Walker, My Wiggins Get Dragged by a Narcissist, Fail Singer, Jaguar Wright, Jay-Z, and more. Now, during that reporting, Candace made some key points in that, or what she thought about Jaguar Wright. Mind you, Candace is only giving her opinion of her viewpoint, and she went on that the woman have a mental illness, that the woman is bitter, and that she have a mental illness. Now, what gets me with Candace is that for this subject, she did not do enough research. She only focused on the Summer Walker piece, and then she's calling her a narcissist. But I would have been better if she would have dug a little deeper into Jaguar Wright and what this woman was saying, because she did not know who this woman is. Another blogger covering a woman, you don't know who she is. So already you gonna be not that well to handle this topic because you don't even know who Jaguar Wright is. You don't know her. You don't know of her. You don't even know. You just heard of her. So when she said that, I said she need to do a little bit more research. But what gets me with people, when someone is telling a story, they automatically go to mental illness. I don't think the woman have a mental illness. What I think that the woman love to talk, and that ain't no mental illness. I think that Jaguar Wright have not a mental illness, but I think that Jaguar Wright love to talk, and she loved to tell her story, and I don't think that she have a mental illness. What I think she have is that she partially is a little bitter. Not a mental illness. It is some bitterness in what she says. She's a little bitter. I don't think she have a mental illness. Okay? I don't think she have a mental illness. No. Because what she's saying, even with the common piece, that woman is keeping the same story. She didn't change a beat. She's giving you a story, and I was talking to a viewer about growing up in Philly and New York, and a lot of stuff she said the woman is not lying, but you have to grow up in Philly and New York during that era that she's talking about. You cannot talk about New York now. She's naming names. She's going back 20 some odd years ago. Unless you grew up in those areas, you're not going to know. So when she's saying this, you really have to do your research, right? But again, what throws it all off is when she drags and cuss. It just turns people off from it. But you gotta take all that away and listen to what she's saying. Because what she's saying is, I was abused. I was abused in the music industry. I was not treated fairly in the music industry. A man named Common tried to put his equipment in my mouth. I did not want that. So, as me talking to victims that have been victimized, something can happen to you at 3 years old and you could be 88. You will never forget what happened to you. And it ain't my job to tell you to get over it. Only suggestion I can give you is to get counseling and therapy for that and talk with somebody that is equipped to handle it, right? And she can tell her story until when Jesus come back. It is her experience. And my only prayer is I hope that she's able to handle it and to go through it well. And I hope that, and I believe that her husband is a great support system, but it's nothing wrong with her telling her story. I just believe that she is speaking up, and we have to support her in that. And while this woman is speaking up, and allow her to have a platform to give her opinion and to say what she have to say. What do you think about what she said about Jada? Now, the whole Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith and all of that, I really don't know. She was talking about that, artists will come to Will, I guess, to his compound or to his place, and they will lose their mind or they will be afraid. I said, wow. And it's just so much rumors about the Smiths that until I get wealthy or I'm in the industry, I may not never know. But once I'm in the industry, they talk, So, but when that situation, I really don't know if it's true or not. Because the Smiths, that's a very weird family. In my home, me outside looking in, it's very weird. Even the kids is just weird. I'm just not reason why I'm saying I'm not used to it, when you look at Will when he was growing up, he didn't do all that weird stuff growing up, how his children are doing. But you gotta understand, he did not have the money like that. So now you got all this money, you can still do a lot of weird stuff, If I was worth $300 billion and I have kids, maybe they'll start doing some things that are quote unquote considered weird. But it's about who you're around, what your environment is, what you adopt. But what I would say this, do I believe a lot of nasty things go on in the Smith house? Absolutely, I do. I do believe a lot of things go up in there, a lot of freaky stuff going on there. I would love to go there myself and see. I mean, something, just be honest. I believe I would love to go there. What? I would love to. I would love to go to the Smith's house and, you know, and meet up with Will Smith and have a conversation with Will. I would love to. I would love to. I just want to see if it's real. You know, Jada Pinkett Smith. I would love that. Would I would say no to Jada? No, I would not say no to Jada. But it, so she went off on a tirade a couple of. Yes, she did. Absolutely, she did. I grew up in New York during the era, and she was not known. I still can't pinpoint who she is. And see, that's another person said they can't pinpoint who she is. But she was talking about when she was on tour with the at a club and how she doing it. You really have to know it, and that's just not my area expertise. But only thing I can really judge is how she's delivering her messaging, and that was a great interview. And I do believe that, you know, other bloggers should cover it. And the reason why I did it, because I just got tired of people saying, don't nobody cover Storm Monroe interviews. And I'm like, reason why people don't cover Storm Monroe interview, it's a lot of people that interview people. It is a lot that really goes on. But with this piece, with this interview, it was so in the culture, so in the, this is what I was going to cover it. Now I know a lot of other people probably not going to cover it because they have their own biases. They don't want Storm Monroe to win, even though he's going to win anyway. I'm just going to cover him. So I get it, I understand it, but he had the exclusive. He got influence, and so when people say that Storm Monroe don't have no influence, you a lie. Sit down, you lying. He ain't got no influence. He ain't making no moves. You another lie. He got the exclusive. You can't sit here and say that Storm don't have no influence. Storm is boring. You may say that, but the people, let me tell you something. When I was watching Drumline, and Nick Cannon was up there, and his band leader, the Drumline major leader, said, I don't want him. But the people in the drum line, the rest of his bandmates, they blew the horn like, we want him. You may not want him. You may say whatever, but the people disagree. Storm has his own sense of style and talent. Everybody is not going to be your fave. Now on YouTube, you have your faves. Everybody. I have my faves. I have multiple faves. But just because you ain't rocking with the product don't mean 1,000 other people ain't rocking it. Let me tell you about Tyler Perry. Do you know that it's a lot of people in Hollywood that don't rock with Tyler Perry, think his product is trash? You know, it's a lot of people that think Tyler Perry product is trash and it's not good for Black culture and that it's problematic. But majority of the time when he have a show is number one, millions of people streaming all on BET Plus. His plays, his multi-million-dollar franchise made him in the billion-dollar status. So regardless of what you say, his audience that is supporting say otherwise, that he is entertaining. Okay? Absolutely. So when I look at, you know, Storm Monroe and then somebody say, oh, he's trying to be like Tasha, I don't see it. The reason why I don't see it because I just don't see it. Storm has his own sense of style. It is there. And I watched it tonight. He had his own sense of style. I love the fact he got the strap. I love that as classic Storm Monroe. It was really, really great. It was really, really good. And I'm glad. And you know what? Shout out to Storm for giving Jaguar Wright the opportunity to talk. I don't think another blog would have gave Jaguar Wright that opportunity like that, because what they would have did, they would have called her a liar. And another thing too, I have to learn this. And I learned this from Tasha. I heard this from Tasha. You don't want to bash the guests. Even if you don't agree, do it calm, but don't bash them. Let them feel comfortable, because a person is not going to open up and you already I have to learn it. It takes a school skill. So if she would have went on certain other platforms, it would have been about them instead of the story, instead of what Jaguar was bringing up. That take true skill. He acknowledged her as his mentor, but he's standing on his own 2 feet. Yes, he is. Can I say something? Can I say this? Storm Monroe, when you're looking at his videos, right? And when people say Tasha K is your mentor, yes. But he is putting in the work. Tasha K could have gotten up and say, Storm Monroe, I'm mentoring Storm, and he's at 5,000. Like she said, he's at 5,000 subscribers. I will never forget the day she said it. So I went over there, and ever since that, he was just doing videos, content. Storm, bing, 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 bing. Literally, I was subscribed. I'm still subscribed to him. Still on the notification bell. My phone will go off all during the day. Bing, bing, storm, bing, 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 bing. It like all over. And he stayed consistent, and it built his platform. People when they talk about him, they forget that piece. He told me, he said, Wiley, let me talk to you. He said, if you want to do celebrity gossip, you want to make sure you are consistent in it. Post as much as you can, post religiously, and stay consistent in doing so. And so I did, and I started to listen, and I started to do it. Now, mind you, he did that when he was in his mid-20s, 30-some thousand, not at the number now. But if I would have listened to that, it would have worked. Now that I listen to that advice, you see a growth because you got to stay consistent in it. And I've read somewhere, just keep putting it out, and you will get as much understanding by failing and understanding, because as long as you keep trying, then you would know what to do and what not to do. But you would never know if you don't do, right? So I'm reading your comments in here. His mannerism is how he acts when he does his show. And he's even said it himself when I brought it up that he has to stop watching her because he started acting like her on his show, period. Absolutely. You do. You're right. Spike Lee don't like, okay, they made up. Spike Lee made up with Tyler Perry. Yes. Are you cool with Ahmad? Yes, that's my brother. He works hard on his content. Absolutely. And he does. He works really hard on his content, and he's very, and he takes notes, and he does it, and you see it. So with this interview, congratulations towards him. I think it was a beautiful interview, and I watched it because I was interested, because Jaguar Wright needed an interview. She needed to tell her story, because on Instagram, no one can, ask her question on IG unless you comment, but you need in the zone where she hit the link. So it was great when she hit it, and she stayed on his platform for 3 hours. And that is what I give credit to. That woman stayed on there for 3 hours. That's with anyone though. Shoot, my husband started acting like me after a while. Facts. That's with anything. That's natural. Is you are your customer. Even though you may act, you still got your own sense of style. Question: what do you think is my issue with Storm is? I think the issue is this, that he battles with people comparing him to Storm. He don't like it, right? He don't like that people compare him to Storm. He also doesn't like that Tasha name drops Storm, and I think that's the big issue for him, because when it comes to Storm Monroe, he doesn't like it when people compare him. Just you can't compare me to a man that don't know who he is or who he sleep with. That's his issue. That is his problem with him, and that is something that you have to work on. That ain't on Storm. That's on him. You have to work on that, because people gonna compare you to that. They compare me to people. Somebody got in my chat and said, "Junior, you such and such Junior," and I said, "Okay, I could have easily. Why get upset? It is what it is. You cannot get upset what people think about you. Just can't. You know. Come on now. You can't. They're going to compare you in this business. It is what it is. He's been mentored by Tasha and his issues, and he get into his and Tasha KB. Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's gone too far for them to be cool. Yeah, as long as you going at the mentor, which is Tasha, it's a big thing. But you know, you get stuck in it. You get stuck in it. You get stuck in it. And to the point is, don't take the bait, because what I doesn't like is the messy subscribers that go and say, "Well, Storm said this about you," and he didn't even say nothing. He didn't even say nothing. You're listening to these people that is clearly lying to you. They be in there, oh, Storm threw some shade. He didn't throw no shade. But that's why you cannot allow to listen to these these messy subscribers. They will literally ask a question and say this and that, and they'll go there. And you can't unless you go and watch it for yourself. I don't think that it's cool that you go and drag somebody if you didn't see the information for yourself. Period. You know what I'm saying? So if you didn't go and see it for yourself, don't do it. Tasha never claimed Tasha claimed Storm. He deleted the video when he kept asking Tasha, "Did you or did you not say we were friends?" Yeah. So that's the piece. And it's I'm entertained by it because you will never get bored with it because it will always be new people interested in it. It is. You will always get new people that is interested in what you got to say. But that's helping them both. That is helping Storm. That is helping Ahmad. That's helping their platforms. So both brothers are bright or amazing. Just don't take what people want y'all to do. Is to go back and forth. If you don't like it, or if you don't watch this, you don't have to talk about it. It's that simple. But I wish with back to Storm interview, he had to get his due credit. He did an amazing job. He did so. And one thing I learned in this business, a lot of people will not give you credit. It is what it is. They ain't gonna give you no credit. They will literally look at you and won't credit it. But you can't take it personal and you can't let it get to you because everybody's not going to have that type of integrity. Somebody says Storm personality saying force. I can't get through a whole video. I don't believe that his personality saying force, but like I said, everybody don't like Pepsi, but Pepsi is still $1 billion company. Everybody don't like Coca-Cola, but Coca-Cola is still $1 billion company. Everybody don't have T-Mobile, but T-Mobile is still worth millions and millions. You know, so what does that tell you? Everybody don't shop at Walmart, but Walmart still make billions and Target still make billions. So with that is hell, it is room for everybody. Everyone is not for everybody. This is what it is. You're not gonna like everybody. So when people say that, it's just, you ain't gonna like everybody, and that take you to be mature. Like when people say, "Hey, I don't like your content," okay. But it's thousands of other people that will love it. And sometimes where I have to learn that and focus that, you can't be so focused at one voice and let it dominate the whole conversation. Oh, I don't like it. No, but look at the other shows. Don't take that stuff personally. You know it works. I feel energy and I feel that the show with this show is growing. I feel the energy, the spirit of this show. That when I break down a story, people listen. They may not agree on what I'm saying, but they listen. They may have to turn down the volume, but they listen. So that's why I know that whatever formula that I'm doing is actually working because I feel the change. I feel it. So if I feel it, I know others feel it. I feel the shift in energy. I feel it. Even me doing this live, talking about this situation, I feel the energy of it. That people are interested or what Wiley have to say about Jaguar Wright going on Storm or interview. because the narrative that's going to be spin, you can't spin it because Storm did not ask any questions about what did bloggers had to say about her. That was genius Storm Monroe. He did not ask her because she's established. You don't need to ask about a blogger beef because she got so much real beef that go back 20 years. So you don't need to ask about the blogger stuff. And that's why some of these bloggers are not going to cover the Storm Monroe interview with Jaguar Wright because their name wasn't mentioned. They didn't get no clout. But if they was of integrity and smart, I would still break that down and continue to talk about it. But they're not going to do that because they think in their mind that, they don't want to reach, they don't want him to reach 100K. And that is a myth. And I have to get out of that mindset because as long as you putting the work in and you getting viewership, you will get there and beyond. That is a myth that just because somebody won't say your name, that you will not grow. That is a myth. You will still grow. That is how powerful. As long as you're putting out the right content and that it's being recommended and it's moving and shaking, you will get there. Somebody might get there tomorrow and you may get there in 2 years. You may get there in 10 years. But as long as you get there, you there. It is some people living their best life in the business in their 50s, but they started out in their 20s. Now they getting the recognition and the big jobs in their 50s and 60s, but in their 20s they were struggling. But it all paid off because they got what they were working for. You will get there. Everybody is on a different journey. Everybody's on a different speed. So God, yeah, I had to say that. So I hope everybody listens to it. I don't know if I will take any phone call because nobody want to call in. I don't think it's too late for y'all to call in, so I don't think nobody gonna call in today. But I just want to say thank you all because I had to come on here and break down the video and talk about the interview. Okay, a lot of people do. Let me see who cares about Jaguar Wright still at this point though. A lot of people care about her because when she was saying this, it was reaching the other blogs, and you may not care, but some care, and I'm interested in the story. I am. And so I want to give a special shout out to Mouth Open for holding it down. Hey, I saw you, and I think I saw Day earlier. So shout out to all the producers and the mods. Thank y'all for holding it down. But I said I had to come on here and break it down. Somebody said I care about her. I'm new here and have fun. Yay, Lisa, you new here. Yes. I kept referring to Storm as Tasha Flunky and saying how she tries to replace him. She tried to replace him. He threw side shade because he was mad at Tasha. So yes, he did respond directly. See, and that's the thing. Why are you bringing up Storm? Right? Why are you bringing up Storm? He's growing. He gets the same numbers as if not more. If not more. If not more. He gets the same numbers, if not more numbers. So he's doing great. He's doing great. He's doing awesome. They are both great. They're both awesome brothers. I'm shady. I'm the most shady as they come. I can drag all day long, but okay, while I'm dragging, I still can say, okay, let me do this piece. That is a variety. I have different personalities that I can bring, different type of temper that I can bring on the show. Okay? They both get views. He topped out at 3,600 and ended at 3,000 for a 4-hour live interview. That was amazing. I saw the numbers. You're not lying, Bella. I was there. And I watched it for myself. And when he got off the live, he had 3 times more numbers than the live viewers, over 10K. So he did incredible numbers. I wish you all could team up, honestly. Yes, that would be great, Bella. Absolutely. Absolutely. In a perfect world, that would be great. And maybe one day, who knows? Who knows? You just never know. You just never know. And I can't say I would never. You got to be careful saying that because you just never know. Things change, life change, situations change. Especially if you're in this business, you may say, I wouldn't, and then 2-3 years, y'all working together. You just never know that, or around each other. You just never know. So you can't never say no. So 3 hours, even with them tangerines. Yes, absolutely. That is amazing. 3,000 live viewers is amazing, you all. But he didn't always have 3,000 viewers. He started out with 100. Started out with the 200. Started out with the 300. Went up to 7. Then it's up to 1,000. Now it's up to 2. Now it's up to 3, 4, 5. So you're looking at it now, but it took him a process to get there. It took him a process. He said, are you writing? Yes, Bella, I'm taking my time writing it, though. I got stuff all over it. This book, that notebook. I just have to really sit down and really bring it all together, though. But I am writing it, though. I am writing it, Bella. Wiley, thank you for responding to this so quickly. Yes, because I watched it. I didn't want to go to sleep without reviewing this show because I didn't want people to say, "Oh, don't nobody cover you." No, I didn't have to cover Storm. I work with Storm. I work with the brother. We had a beautiful arrangement and him coming on 2 Man and the Lady. And I might even restream those lives. I might even restream those live two Man and the Lady. Beautiful lives with all of us together. So thank you. You know, we work together. And that brother came over here at the Wiley Show, and we're paid to do it. But whatever budget we have, he agreed to do it. And I thank him for that. I will never forget him for doing that for me. Because he could have said no. But he did. And because what I wanted was, let's collaborate. You know? And it wasn't it was a beautiful show. And I want to bring it back. But you know, bring it back for people that want to put the work in. Then we brought it back again. And, you know, people couldn't really commit and they went, you know, but I'll bring it back another season. It'll be season 3. We did season 1 with Storm Monroe and 7 Stars and myself with 2 Man and a Lady. Then season 2, we did with James Cooper and who was that? James Cooper and with Katie Talks One-on-One and myself. Then in season 3, I don't know who is going to be in season 3. So we will bring 2 Man and a Lady back. We just got to get a powerful lady and a man. Yet being written. Yes. Storm doing amazing work. He is actually doing amazing work. And I was actually listening to his interview. Love you. So shout out to the night out. Wow, it was 165 of y'all here. I had to do that because the interview was so beautiful. It was long. It was lengthy. It was, baby. It was like I was at church. And he was like, we're going to close. We're going to bring her in. She still wanted to talk. But it was needed. God bless you all. I want to say thank you. If you are a new viewer, thank you. Welcome. Return viewer. Thank you. Shout out to y'all. Anybody at work? Anybody doing an overnight shift? Who's working overnights? Is this the overnight crew? Anybody at work watching us? Now don't get caught. But anybody at work watching us, don't y'all get caught now. But if y'all at work watching the night owls, thank you. Okay. Who at work over here working? Who at work over here in the break room watching us? Who in the hallway watching us? You know, supposed to have that phone. Who in there told your supervisor you got to use the restroom or use the toilet and you up here watching the Wiley Show? Who is that? Said, boss man, could I go use the restroom? And you working at the faculty plant, knowing that you ain't in that washroom. You up there watching the Wiley Show. Now you scrambling to put your headphones in your ear. I see you. I see you now. I see you. Okay. I see you right there. Maybe it's just celebrity or character you would like to interview. Oh gosh. I would love to interview Brave Williams. I think that she's an incredible artist. She's a songwriter and actress. I would just love to interview her one day. I would, my dream interview, I would love to sit down and interview Brandy. One day I would interview Brandy. That's like my dream interview. Um, yeah, I would love to interview Brandy. If I have the vinyl record of the album of hers, and I also have the CD version of her new album. So I would love to interview Brandy, or in Brave Williams, because Brave Williams wrote a record that uh Brave Will wrote a record, and I've listened to this artist. Her name is Brave Williams, and the name of that record is "Don't Tell Me No." And that song, I don't know why I tear up listening to it. I listened to it. The name of that record is "Don't Tell Me No" by Brave Williams. I was like, wow, that song is so wonderful. Wiley, you're trying to get me in trouble, Buzz. No, don't get in trouble. Um, Top of the morning, Gary. What time is there? What time is it in London? Yes. We got people. And I don't even know what time is it in London. Siri, what time is it in London? It is 7:44 a.m. in London. So they just waking up to us in London. Some people up there getting up. So we international. It's 7 a.m. up there in London. It's 7:45 in the morning, baby. David, it's up early getting breakfast. Look at that. Look at that. Early in the morning in London, baby. She can go all the way back North Philly in the house. Okay, wait. So you know about her? Yes. Come on, Branch. All right. All right. I gotta give you some London tea. I gotta see what's some tea in London I need to get into. I gotta do some research about London. I gotta see what is who I need to talk to. Who London artists I need to talk to. What London artists I need to talk to. Oh, I'm in London. What's some London tea? What who I need to just, okay. Thank y'all so much. Thank you so much. My birthday is November 11th. I will be 30 years old. November 11th. That is my birthday. I will be 30 years old, November 11th. So if anybody want to send us gifts, cards, we do have a PO box, and you can send it to that. So I will put it on the screen. We will be live. Let me see. Really big, amazing artist, Buzz Brother, the areas of London. Yes, Scorpio Gate. Yes, no, November 11th. I will be 30 years old. So if people are sending gifts, this is the PO box. Large PO box 701122 Dallas, Texas 75370. That is a PO box. If anybody is sending any if you want to send us some cards and stuff. So yes. Okay. I must be late to the party. I thought Storm. No, me and Storm, we're friends, and that's my brother. And when I don't like saying friends. I think with Storm, that's my brother. That's my brother. And yeah, so I watched the interview, and even if a person blocked me, that ain't gonna stop me from watching their content. Okay, so when people say, "Oh, if you have a good interview, a good topic, I'll talk about it." I talk about it, and I would tell you that right now. I will talk about it. Give me a second. So don't forget, people, the first presidential debate is coming up, and we will be reviewing it. So give me a second. I don't want y'all to miss that show. It's gonna be incredible. The first presidential debate that will be on September 29th, and immediately following the debate, we will review it. So the first presidential debate, we will review it on the live, and that's going to be great. That will be Tuesday, September 29th, right here on the Wiley Show. We will be breaking that down immediately following the debate. That will be September the 29th, Tuesday. I'm here for it. So that is next Tuesday, right? We will be breaking that down. Yes. Okay. Y'all here for it. All right. Look at that. Okay. Okay. You give credit where it's due. I don't know about who it is. I would definitely give you that. Yes. I was, yes. Overnight nurse. Okay, Kimberly. She has every right to drag anyone that was disrespectful, hurtful, or trying to take advantage of her or young women in the music industry. Yes, she have a right to speak up. Absolutely. She does have a right to speak up. And that is something where is needed. So she does have a right to speak up. Absolutely. The base should be interested to say the least. Yes. Talk about she don't have. Who says she ain't got no right to speak up? She do have a right to speak up. Sure, if somebody did all that, you do. There's nothing wrong with it. She do have a right to speak up. Hey, right? Give me a second. Shout out. Any other questions? I will answer a couple more questions. I want to get out of here because I don't want to make this too lengthy. We did it an hour. So if anybody got another question, let me know in the chat. We do see some London folks. Where y'all watching us from? We got London in the house. Anybody else? I know we got New York. You know, mouth open. You repping New York in the house. Who else? Who? If you want to represent your city, you know, Dallas all day. Who else want to represent your city? Where you at? Represent your city. Okay, please shine the light. Yes, yes, yes. Post right there in the comments. Chicago, we got New York in the house. We got DMV in the house. We got DMV in the house. We got Chicago in the house. Yes. Who else? We got California, the Bay Area in the house. Yes. You got Macon, Georgia in the house. South Carolina in the house. Yes. That is wonderful. Trinidad by the way of New York City. Yes. Thank you all so much. P-E-E-E-E-E-E-E. Thank you. Thumbs up. Make sure y'all thumbs up the video. See y'all later. Peace. Good night, y'all. Oh, good morning to London. Good night to America.